Do you believe in paranormal? This is a story based in true events that happened to my dad in his teenage years. We're gonna call him Albert, even though that was not his real name. Okay, so Albert was relaxing in the hammock after having breakfast. He was just ready to step out and sell the lottery tickets. But suddenly, there were knockings on the door, and then he said, who could it be? I'm not expecting anybody this early because I'm getting ready to go in and sell the lottery tickets. And he just, wondered. He did not know. And then the knockings continue. Who is it? He said. Alberto, Alberto! There were, voices coming from the other side of the door. He went ahead and checked to see who was on the other side of the door. The knockings continue. And then he said, I'm coming. He opened the door and then he said to the people that were there, how can I help you? And then there were two beautiful young women. They said, oh, Alberto, I'm so sorry that we came too early to bother you, but we were told that you sell lottery tickets and we're here to buy the first number. I hope you have the number available, the one we're interested in buying. And then he said, yes, just a moment. Let me just grab my notebook and to see, what number you would be interested in buying. So Alberto grabbed his notebook where he writes down the names and addresses for people who buys the lottery tickets. And then he asked them, which number are you interested in buying? And they both said, number 38. That's the number that, we just picked that number, but that wasn't the number that I remember. So they said, can we both buy the same number? And then he said, yes, of course you can, but you have to split the winning prize in case, you win. They said, no problem. So Albert had his notebook with all the information from the women, their names and their addresses. They were so happy that, that number was available because they were interested in that particular number. And they were saying, thank you so much, Albert. We're so sorry that we came so early to bother you, but here is the money for that number. And you already have our information. Just, contact us if you have any questions, but we'll see what happens. And then he said, yes, I have your information, your names and addresses. And for sure, if you win, I'll be, finding your location. And then the women left. Albert went inside and he was just getting prepared to go, with his routine of the week, which is selling the numbers for the lottery. So he already sold the first number 38. Now he was just very happy. He was just ready to go out, and he has his notebook with all the information that he would keep there for everybody who would buy the numbers. And he already knew several locations, several spots where people would be waiting there for him, for buy the lottery tickets. And a lot of people knew that they wanted the same number. Some people will tell him, hey Albert, you already know the number I want. Here's the money. Please write down my information that I want the same number. And then others will tell him, hey Albert, I want a different number. Do you have certain number available? And they will pay him. So of course, everybody wanted to win, right? It's a lottery ticket. The winning lottery ticket. Everybody wanted to win. And, he was doing this during the whole week, from Monday through Saturday. that was his routine to do that, because waiting until Sunday that, everybody will know which is the winning number of the lottery. So Sunday arrived. Albert was there listening to the radio, having his breakfast, and having the radio right next to him, and the radio will play the winning number. We're talking about so many years ago when my dad was very young, like in his teenage years. And then they said the winning number is 3, and then they said 8, and then of course it was number 38. And then my dad went to look at the book and see, who was the winning person of the winning number. He saw that it was the 2 women that came that morning. And then he said, okay, I have their names. The winning ticket was for those women that bought that day, the number 38, and that came that morning. He had already the address and he had their names, so he was ready to step out and find that address, find that location to, give the prize to the winning people, those 2 women. It was a little weird for him that he couldn't find that address, and he had to ask someone, hey, friend, can you tell me please, where is this address located? I don't know why I cannot find it. And then the guy said, yes, it's that way. Just go that way and you will find the location on the right. And then Albert will go, and he was definitely, trying to find that address. It was so difficult. He knew the area, he knew a lot of locations, but I don't know why he couldn't get to that address that easy. It was so difficult to find that address, that particular location. He said, what's going on? I don't know why I cannot find it. Anyways, he continued finding that address, and then he stopped in one location where there was a dead end, and he asked somebody who was there, an old man. He asked, hey, listen, is there any way you can help me find this address? I don't know why I cannot find it. Of course. And let me see. Oh, yeah, that address is right there. He showed him a location, and it was a cemetery. He couldn't believe his eyes, what he was seeing. He said, what, a cemetery? Yes, that's the address. And then Albert told this guy the names of the women, and that guy told him, oh, those 2 women, they passed away a long time ago. And he was like, what? He was, getting closer to that location, and there were 2 graves. The names on the graves were exactly the names that my dad had on his notes of those 2 women. He went like, couldn't believe his eyes, what he was seeing there, the 2 graves. Oh my gosh. And then the winning prize, he couldn't give the winning prize to those women, so he kept that prize, but he shared it with other people. He was such a good person. He always would help other people. So people, the homeless people, he would buy them food and also give them money, and he would tell them, hey, here it is. And they were so happy, so grateful that Albert was helping them, with money and food, and they were so thankful to him. They were saying, oh, thank you, and then they were so happy. So that was how my dad was. And he will tell us many stories, and I will tell you another story in another time. Thank you for watching, and here's my dad sharing the prize.